Hi church, I hope you've had a great week. First, I want to let you know how excited I was to hear what happened last Sunday here at Grace Tabernacle. It sounds like you started off with kind of an interesting Sunday, not having a preacher, but it sounds like y'all had a wonderful time of prayer and worship, and I was excited to hear about it. No news yet about Kelly and the birth of our baby boy Cormac. We had another doctor's visit on Friday and the doctor said things are still just kind of the same. So we could have a little baby boy here at any time, and we will let you know as soon as that happens. And then we're hoping as soon as possible to move home and be with you. Our tentative move home date is May 31st. We're hoping to stick to that schedule, so we'll keep you updated about that. As a reminder, until I can be with you and we can be down there with you in person, I've been fasting every Monday since the first Monday after I became your pastor, and I'll continue to fast each Monday until we can be with you in person. I hope you can join with me in fasting from food. Remember, if you can't fast from food, you can still join us in the fast by fasting from something else. And as we're fasting, we're praying, remember, these 7 very specific prayers of what we're praying for Grace Tabernacle. I hope you've all received one of these prayer cards and you've placed it somewhere where you will see it, and it will remind you to pray these 7 prayers for our congregation. Kelly and I are taking 1 prayer a day. We're starting with Monday and beginning with prayer number 1, and we're praying through the week. A little interesting fact about Kelly and me: we have a 3.5-year-old 80-pound chocolate lab named Bear. I'm sure you'll get to know him and see him when we're down there in person. We had some friends over earlier today for dinner, and we've trained Bear to sit on his dog bed so that he won't beg while we're eating, and if he sits on the bed, he's rewarded with treats throughout dinner, and he becomes so focused on getting those treats and the drool starts to drip down his face. And I told Kelly today, I was reminded of a quote attributed to Martin Luther, one of the main fathers of our Reformation. He had a little dog, and let me read to you this quote. He would sit together, Martin Luther would sit at his dinner table with his seminary students and lecture just kind of whatever came to his mind. And he said, "Oh, if I could only pray the way this dog watches the meat. All his thoughts are concentrated on the piece of meat. Otherwise, he has no thought, wish, or hope." And every time I see our dog Bear so focused on getting a treat, I'm reminded of that quote from Martin Luther saying, "Oh, that I could pray with such laser-like focus and intensity that I don't notice anything else and I'm focused on nothing else other than praying to my Lord." I hope you'll join with me in wanting to have prayers like that where we can focus in as we're praying to the Lord. Today I want to talk to you about prayer number 3 on your prayer card. It says, we're praying that God will give us a love for the lost. And as Christians, this is a type of phrase we use regularly, and it's something that we recognize we should have. We should have a love for the lost. But you know, when we talk about loving the lost, loving someone who's not a Christian, or loving non-Christians in general, we talk about it in ways, honestly, that we don't use the word in other ways. If I were to say, I love my wife, that love must be shown. It should be shown in ways other than talking to her about God. It's shown through very simple acts, spending time with her, helping her out. I was helping her cook earlier today, doing the dishes, helping around the house, telling her I love her. It's in very simple things. And so when we talk about loving the lost, sometimes we go to this place of saying, oh, I love them because I want them to become a Christian. But a true Christian, a true Christ-like love for the lost is more than simply evangelizing to them or inviting them to church. It needs to be visible in our day-to-day action, spending time with non-Christians, doing things for non-Christians to help them, to show them that we love them. And you know, if you're like me and you've grown up in the church, you've become immersed maybe in this church bubble, surrounded by other Christians. And to be honest, the longer I've been in the church, the harder it can be to relate to non-Christians. I use a different language sometimes. I use this churchy language. I have different interests. My perspective and my values are different. And sometimes it can be difficult to interact with non-Christian, non-churched people. I feel like we're worlds apart and we have nothing in common. And sometimes I just want to hang out with Christians. But out of a love for my non-Christian friends and neighbors, I need to spend time with them. I need to show them that I love them, and I need God to put that love in my heart, because it doesn't come naturally. It's not the easiest thing in the world. So that's why I've asked that be prayer number 3 for our church, that we would pray that each of us gives us a tangible and real and authentic love for our non-Christian family members, friends, neighbors, and co-workers. A love that we feel in our hearts, but is also expressed in our day-to-day actions. Thanks, church. Have a great week. I'll share with you again in a video next week, and hopefully by next week I'll be able to announce to you about the birth of our baby boy. Thanks. Love you.